Hey folks, welcome back to Skyward Sword. We're here in the Elden Volcano, heading back to the sky, because we just beat the second dungeon. Everybody applaud. Are you applauding? Good. Okay, so, basically, like the last episode that was directly after a dungeon, this is mostly side quests. But as you can see, it's much shorter than the last one. But on the flip side, the reveal of the next area, as if you didn't already know what it was, is saved till the end of the episode, so I guess you'll just have to wait. And as usual, I invite you to tell me how long you last. It's a little less impressive in this episode, but, you know, it's always appreciated. Just want to know how much you love me. Okay, but anyway, after that goddess chest, that will lead you to this little minigame here in the sky, led by this balding dude, who I assume has some sort of importance or relevance in the grand scheme of Skyloft, but I don't know, he's just a guy to me. So yes, this is a bamboo chopping minigame. Finally, a minigame that actually uses just straight-up swordplay. So yes, our goal is to chop that big bamboo pole as many times as possible before it falls down. It's a very similar mechanic to those trees that were in the first dungeon and the surrounding area, except it's much taller, and it's more about speed than accuracy. Now, basically, my strategy is to try to move directly left and right as much as possible. Usually the way the sensitivity works out, I just end up slashing the same direction over and over, because I'll like move it back while Link is slashing. If you're amazing, it's actually possible to glitch out the counter. It doesn't go above 64, so it will roll over and give you a low score. And based on how many slashes you get, you will get a certain wonderful prize. Either rupees or a rare treasure or some other thing. That's basically all I'm going to do for it. I don't think I'll come back and try to get better prizes. But as you progress through the game, that game will get easier, because you will get certain capabilities that allow you to do it better. Anyway, other than that, just a couple other goddess cubes up here in the sky. Goddess chests, rather. A lot of rupees. I'm glad, but a lot of rupees. I would have preferred a little more creative prize. But anyway, now that we've cleared the second dungeon, we now have access to the second Lumpy Pumpkin quest. And this pumpkin quest's a little bit different from the first one. I mean, this is definitely going to challenge you a lot more than the last one did. A lot more creative, use some mechanics too, rather than just bringing soup to some dude. You gotta actually manage some pumpkins in a rather finagling style. Now, I understand that this side quest is a bit notorious for people who aren't really fond of the minigames in this game, but personally, I don't think this is the worst side quest in that regard. There's definitely a worse one coming up later. Not in this episode, but up in the future. So head on over to the pumpkin patch over here, and talk to this guy's, I think, daughter. And basically, we have to transport pumpkins over to the pumpkin storage facility a couple, I don't know, 50 meters away. But the gimmick is we have to carry 5 pumpkins at once and balance them. Make sure that none of them fall off and smash and cause horrible disasters when we're there in transit. And basically that results in you having to move left and right a lot to rebalance, and sometimes abusing level geometry. And I'll admit this took me quite a few tries. Walking slowly is a good idea, because if you walk too quickly, the pumpkins on top will like lean behind you, and that'll be bad. And plus, overall, slowly, their lean will change less quickly. So yeah, basically you want to be moving diagonally whenever possible, I've noticed. Seems to work best for me. But really, sometimes there's just no surefire way, because at certain points, there's no way to just recorrect what you're doing. You're just going to have to make a mad dash for it, or make a little sprint to try to rapidly recorrect something. It's a lot of trial and error, to be honest. And, I mean, it's certainly something you can get better at. I don't know anyone who has mastered it. Granted, I haven't really looked for them, but... yeah, as you can see, I'm not really sure how exactly all the individual pumpkins work with the physics. I know generally, pumpkins will, as a line, kind of sway to one side. Sometimes you got pumpkins that are just misaligned, and I don't really know. Sometimes I like to pause and let them get misaligned so that when I move directly to another location, it will realign itself, and that's just overall safer. As you can see here, since I'm moving primarily left, I like to let them lean left. And now you see the wall over on the right there? I forget if I do it in this attempt, but if your pumpkins are leaning to the right, you can hug up against the wall and they will all just stack vertically. It's useful for rapid realignment. And yeah, once you're in a certain distance, just dash. They don't fall that quickly. And yeah, that took me several attempts. I did get better at it, since this is my third playthrough. I can do it much better than I could at the beginning. But don't expect to get it on the first try. And here, that's the second side quest done. And once again, we don't really get a prize for doing that. There's still, I believe, one side quest left before we get actually anything useful out of it. But again, that'll have to wait until after the next dungeon. And oh boy, that one's a doozy. You can look forward to it. Alright, that takes care of that, and I believe there should be a little bit of side questing for actual gratitude crystals at this point. Okay, more goddess chest, that works too. You can see there's goddess chest over in that caged place over on the other, island directly across. We'll get to that later. Also, seed satchel. This is another thing that you can store in your adventure pouch, are little extra ammo bags that add a little bit of capacity to your ammunition, either for seeds or for bombs or for arrows, because we already know those are in the game, guys. They're selling. But yeah, usually 10 more. But if you really need that item, the game will give it to you very easily. So I generally don't find them too useful, and I don't really use the slingshot very much either anyway. Anywho, I guess I'm showing this trip back because I had to show some actual flying in this episode in some way. Alrighty then. Are we gonna head to the Bazaar? No, we are going to Beetle Shop. Because now that I have some amazing monetary capabilities, we can buy a few more wonderful prizes from them. Yeah, I've always found it a little hard to line up where exactly you're supposed to grab onto that from. Alright, so let's see. If I remember right, there should be a wallet capacity upgrade that I am looking into. Yes, sirree. Fantastico. And I believe this is the last wallet that he sells, so unfortunately we'll have to get further wallet capacity from other sources, but Still, plus 900 rupees. Considering we started with a capacity of 300, that's pretty darn good. And hello, what do we have here? This is a life medal. This could be a little frustrating for certain people. This... Basically, it's a heart container in a medal, in an item. So you buy it and you put it in your adventure pouch and you get an extra heart container. Rather than just selling a heart container, it forces you to use up an item slot in order to carry it around. I understand why someone would be frustrated by it. I kind of wish that it weren't the case, but I generally don't use up adventure slots too much, so it didn't really bother me. Anyway, because my adventure pouch was full, it actually went to the item storage, so I'm gonna go grab that from the bazaar. It's a good idea, since I don't need that seed satchel. Let's just say that. Sure, let's go with that. So yeah, the item storage basically gives you a lot more item slots than you'll ever need. But there we go. Yeah, geez, that's what? That's 12 times 5, that's 60 slots. I don't know how it's possible to get that many items. Unless you're just ridiculous. Anyways, you saw there, I have an extra heart container. And it's also time to restock some potions. Yeah, an insane, epic potion buying action. I know it's thrilling. But anywho, that takes care of our adventures in the bazaar. And what do we have left for this episode? I don't really remember, because, I never really look at what I actually do in these side questing episodes after I've edited them. Oh, looks like it's time to go put the slab of rock in the goddess statue thingamajig. So, people who wanted to skip to the plot, hey, you can stop skipping around the video now. They didn't hear me, did they? But yep, much like the previous times we put things in, we put it in. Mind-blowing, I know. And that opens the way to the Lanayru Desert. And that's where we'll be heading next time. I still have some time in this video. What am I doing for the rest of this video? I don't know. Let's find out. I honestly haven't the foggiest idea what I do for the rest of this video. I mean, I probably fly over there, but do I show the whole trip and that really takes the rest of the time? I guess that's possible. Yep, looks like it. That sure was, that was a thrilling mystery for everyone involved, I'm sure. But yep, head on over to this yellow beam of light. And eventually we will get to the Lanayru Desert, third major area of the game. And we're gonna have some fun there. Definitely a beloved area for many players. It's a desert area, so I'll vent my frustrations with it when we get there, but for now, I will see you guys next time.